This week's mental health tips addresses coping with a loved one's mental illness. Hi, I'm Angela. I have a husband with bipolar 2 disorder, my kids have ADHD, and I myself have struggled with depression. You're not alone. An estimated 44 million Americans suffer from some form of a mental disorder in a given year. Even with numbers like that, most family members are not prepared to cope with their loved one's diagnosis and what that means for the family. Honestly, at times, it's physically and emotionally exhausting. I'm a problem solver at heart, so I'm always looking for ways to make their lives better. At the same time, I can feel angry when I hear people put a positive spin on mental health disorder. It's just hard to see the positive when you're watching your loved one suffer. The bottom line is that a mental illness doesn't just affect the person with the diagnosis, it affects their families. And we need practical tips for coping. Number 1, set realistic expectations. Think of the illness as something that they'll manage, like someone manages diabetes. You have the opportunity to be a big support to the management. Don't expect them to be cured with medication. It's easy to buy into the idea that we get this big before and after story with mental illness. When Michael is struggling with a certain symptom, people sometimes say to me, can't they do something? Well, yes and no. A lot of his symptoms went away with medication, but at the same time, a lot of them didn't. So we're always looking for ways to tweak things and improve life for him and our family. But if you're looking for a quick fix, you will really have trouble coping. Number 2, acceptance. Sounds easy, right? Well, it's not. It will take time to accept, but it's easier to process your grief if you accept the situation that you're in. Number 3, educate yourself. Hands down, one of the best choices I made. I did this through counseling, reading books that were both memoirs and mental health education, and by asking a lot of questions. I asked Michael the first thing that changed once I understood bipolar, and he said that I just became a lot more patient. If we can give that gift to one another, it's going to make coping a lot easier. Number 4, don't over-identify or minimize the diagnosis. Here's what I mean. The person is not their mental illness. They're your friend, your spouse, your child. When they have an illness that they're struggling with, it's the illness, not who they are, period. On the other hand, acknowledge that this illness can make their life difficult and show empathy. Number 5, prayer. That might sound like a Sunday school answer, but prayer really does work. Dr. Herbert Benson, a cardiovascular specialist at Harvard Medical School and a pioneer in the field of mind-body medicine, discovered what he calls the relaxation response, which occurs during periods of prayer and meditation. At such times, the body's metabolism decreases, the heart rate slows, blood pressure goes down, and our breath becomes calmer and more regular. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18 tells us, "Rejoice always, pray without ceasing. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God for you in Christ Jesus." Coping with a loved one's mental illness gets a lot easier with gratitude, prayer, and praise. So what coping tips would you add to the list? Comment below, I'd love to hear from you. And a big thank you to His Heart Foundation for supporting this channel. If you want more in-depth mental health information for you and those you love, check out mentalhealth.academy today.
Are you or someone you love or work with struggling with depression? One of the biggest things keeping you from a thriving relationship with them is understanding what depression really is. Have you found yourself asking Google or reading blog after blog, trying to figure out how depression is affecting you or the person you care about? But there just seems to be either too much information or it's like reading a college textbook from a psych student. This need is why we at His Heart Foundation created Mental Health Academy, a place where we give you the big picture understanding of what depression is through video courses featuring Christian counselors who specialize in depression. We know and understand that a clear picture of depression will give you the confidence and comfort in your depression or in the person you care about. After taking this course, you will have a new confidence in yourself and in working with those who have depression, and you will see your relationships soar.